Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back to the eastern wing of the Stink Bug Works. Got a bunch of things to talk about. First off, everybody's wondering, well, when's the competition? When's the challenge going to end? What's the final date? And I was thinking Halloween, but you know what? There may be somebody out there that wants to purpose build a boat. So let's just make it Thanksgiving. Let's add another month to it because Halloween's only a little bit more than a month away from today. So that'll give you time. That'll give you 2 months. Prizes are stacked up over there. I got the ready to go 3D printed boat, and I've got the really nicely rebuilt Dona Outrigger. It's the same size as this. It's all fiberglass. I took this out to the pond the other day, and I plugged in the battery, and the first thing I do when I plug in the battery is I move the steering, and nothing happened. I'm going, oh, crap. Something's wrong with my radio. And I looked at it, and I said, well, I'll just do a quick bind on it. Maybe it lost its bind. So I bound the radio again, and still I had no rudder. I'm going, what? And I hit the motor. I said, oh, something's wrong with the servo. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and I couldn't see anything wrong with it. And then along comes, take a look at here, boys and girls. Where is it? It's right up here somewhere. Up. There it is. Look at there. My signal wire has been cut. I have no idea how that came to be, but my signal wire has been cut. No wonder this doesn't work. Fortunately, I have a bunch of those in the bin, and I threw a new one in, and we're ready to rock and roll. I originally, this thing's gone through a number of motors. Most recently, I had a Rocket. What would that be? A 2968 4,000 kV motor running on 3S. Suffice it to say, this thing was stupid fast. But it was a handful to control. This is actually a real good design, so it's pretty controllable. But it took everything to keep it on the water, so I have now remotored it. I'm going to use the same big battery, the same big 3S, but now instead of a 2968, I'm going to use an 1112, which is kind of like a 2958, 2955, something like that. I'll have to get out in a minute. Well, here, we'll measure it. Do I have, yeah, I do. Anyway, so I put this in with a lower kV. This is like 3,600 RPM per volt. So 3,500 RPM per volt plus or minus on 3S is what I would consider the top of acceptable. Running 4,000 on 3S, you're going to lose efficiency. You're going to be pushing things harder than they need to be pushed. So this motor is a it's a 2952 or a 2950. Call it what you want. It's an 1112. So that's what's in there now. Everybody should be happy to go. This thing will run next time out. Now, let's see. I've talked about Thanksgiving. I've talked about this. Props. I'm going to run the same prop on this motor that I ran on the bigger motor. This is a 3217. And that's about right for that motor. These new motors, they've got a lot of torque. They will spin bigger props than most motors their equivalent size. The little Aviox motor, the one that's in this wooden rigger, it does better with a small prop. You notice I was running a cut down 427 on this thing, and it ran real good. So I'm going to leave that prop on there, maybe clean it up a bit. But that'll just be the prop that's on there. Yeah, I could go through, Big B's testing procedure of testing, 24 props and selecting the best one, yeah. But when you're limited in my little pond to just kind of fun running around, that's good enough. And as long as this doesn't heat things up, which I don't suspect it will, this will probably be more than good enough. This thing might still be too fast. I might just get an 1107 motor and drop it in here and save a little more weight. You're probably wondering why I have part of a hotel room key. It's because I have Velcro down here on the bottom, and when you have Velcro, a credit card is perfect to just slide under the Velcro, and then the battery comes right out. So I keep that in my toolbox as a handy dandy little tool. Oh, one other thing too. If I were making a form for pour foam out of cardboard and it somehow got stuck to the pour foam, there's one way of removing it that I would try first, in that I wouldn't be going through all the machinations with tools and such. Foam or cardboard and tape, painter's tape, masking tape. The tape adhesive degrades considerably in water, and the cardboard sort of starts to decompose in water. And if I had a big old catamaran that had cardboard foam stuck to the foam, I'd just pour water in it, stand it up, and leave it there for a couple of days. You come back and that stuff would just peel right off. But who am I? I'm just this guy on the video, right? So anyway, got prizes for the next challenge. I'll have this running next time. We'll talk about some other things in upcoming videos. Until then, jet out.